What's up, everybody? Time for another Quickie. Yes. This week we are talking about how to kickstart a new fitness routine. You're going to want to tune in for this one. Let us know in the chat where you're dialing in from, live or the replay. And we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1.
Woo!
I'm ready.
I'm
Are you
ready.
ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's hit it. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Love it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Hello, April. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was just reminded, or we were just reminded in our last call that it's spring.
It's spring. Welcome to spring, everybody.
I thought spring was in April, but I guess it is March, right?
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hi, Tom.
Hi,
Bingo.
Tom. Yay.
Yes, it is spring. Tomorrow is the spring equinox, the 21st. But yeah, first day of spring. And this is a very timely discussion. We're just going to throw in 3 amazing techniques, strategies to help you, regardless if you have been hibernating and it's time to thaw out, or you're changing gears, shifting gears. How you can really get into whatever your fitness program is, because back over at the ranch at the Accountability Success Circle HQ, this month our focus is on wellness. So
Yes.
here we are. All right, cool. So we are going to jump on in, since it is the Quickie. April, you want to kick us off with our number 1?
Yes.
Since you're amazing at this.
Yes. So first things first, it's March 20th. We just said that it's spring. You may have been hibernating and not really working out because it's just too darn cold, or, maybe not as much in California as it is in Chicago, but not being able, not really being in the mood to move your body and do all of those things. So let's say you're like, okay, now it's almost time for spring break, almost time for summer, got to get that beach bod back in order. Here's what you need to think about. So number 1, we always say this with everything, but have a plan. And it doesn't need to be like, okay, I'm going to do this for 5 minutes and this for 2 seconds and then this for another 5 minutes, down to the T. It doesn't need to be detailed, but you kind of need to know what you want to do first before you start doing it, right? You don't just say I'm going to go to the gym. There might be a why behind that. And so understand what your fitness goals are before you decide that you want to go to the gym, so before you decide that you want to run 15 miles. How do you want this to look, right? Take some time to think before you take the action. So you might be working around a specific goal. Maybe it's because you want to lose weight. That could be the driver. Maybe it's your friends are all trying to run a race that's happening on July 15th and you have not been running, but you want to run with them. So maybe it's a running plan. Maybe you want to get the most bang for your buck and have do some sort of workout routine that's going to cost the least amount of money. So some of those details are good to plan out beforehand. And then from there, you can start thinking about, well, how often do you want to work out? How, what kind of workouts do you want to do? You can start getting to that granular, but without seeing the big picture of what you want to do, it's just kind of hard sometimes to just go out there and run. And maybe you just decide, well, I just want to do, focus on one day at a time, but that's still having a plan to just say, I want to move my body. Maybe it's just you want 10,000 steps. So really thinking about what that goal is to get yourself in action. You want to just spend some time to think about that before you dive in. Sounds good. Do you have anything to add, Gary?
Nope. You nailed it. One main thing here is just really have something. Don't just go jump out of the gate with no sort of intention in mind. That's one of the quickest way to get off as fast as you started. And it doesn't have to be super detailed because I know that can be overwhelming for some. So, yeah. And that brings us to our next one, numeral dose number
Yes.
2. And that's all about starting nice and easy. I don't know about you, but sometimes, yes, I can be either all in or all out. And I'm super excited about something, and then I jump all in and I overexert myself, or I start a new workout routine and I'm just pounding the muscles and I'm just dead. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? So that is one of the fastest way to burn out is if you go too hard. And I know in that song that Will I Am sings, where he's like, go hard or go home. No, you will go home and you will stay home. So how about we start soft and then work it up a bit. And so regarding that, just remember, yeah, you don't have to go zero to hero. You probably have been off for a bit. So let's ease back into it from a psychological and from a just inside your brain standpoint. If you start slow and you do, I guess the best way to say is, you like aim really low, then your brain's like, oh, I can do this. All right, let's do a little bit more. Oh, let's do a little bit more. So instead of like doing those 10 reps, because the meathead right next to you are doing 10 reps, what if you did 6? And then, yes, you probably could do another 4, but it's psychological. It's getting you to the point where you can be more consistent. And yeah, that's the main thing. I know you have a bunch in this, April, so I want to pass it over to you.
Yeah, I think that the big thing when, starting nice and easy, I think a lot of people underestimate what their body is capable of doing um, when when you're adding this as a new routine into your life. Like, start simple. I would say, working out 3 times a week is more than enough to start. I think that's what I did when I started running a couple of years ago, and I was working out 3 days a week or doing runs 3 days a week, super nice and easy. And once you create a more of a solid habit that that you can successfully do, then you can amp it up. Right. So at one point I was working out 5 days a week, and then I was like, oh, I want to do 6. And the 6 is a bonus. If I don't do it, then, if I've got a busy week, then I take that rest. But it wasn't like I just threw myself into hardcore running right away. And you're just like sleep, like if you're not getting a certain amount of hours of sleep a night, at some point, if you continually sleep very few hours, like it hits you like a Mack truck, and then you have to catch up. Is the same thing with working out, right? Your muscles are going to be I was like agitated, and then I was like excited, or they're just going to be exerting energy in a way that they've not been used to, and you need to give them that opportunity to um you know to recover. So just make sure that you don't go crazy, go from no workouts a week to 6 days a week. You're going to set yourself back. It's better to start slow and then increase when you know that you've solidified a habit. So yeah.
Agreed.
And then you can celebrate the small wins and focus on that momentum as you're going, instead of just really burning yourself out from the gate, and then having to deal with reactivating a new workout plan because it didn't work the last time, which I think takes us to our tip number 3.
Tip number 3, which is all about how you can actually get started and stay started. And so this is something that I personally learned from BJ Fogg. He's the one that wrote the book on tiny habits. And this is all about, real quick from Tom. Tom mentions, I love Tom. Run to the next lamppost. Yep. Then to the next one, and then to the next one. That is something that got me through so many different trainings. And you're right, it's so tiny, and it also ties into our number 3, which is all about decreasing activation energy. And so, like I said, I learned this from BJ Fogg, who wrote the book Tiny Habits. And what activation energy is, it's the sort of mental processing about doing something. So if your brain thinks like, oh my gosh, I have to, in this case, like run, 3 point whatever miles, and you haven't done that, and that's a lot, then your brain's like, it's overwhelmed. It's going to less likely want to do it. But if you're like, hey, let me run to the next lamppost, your brain's like, oh yeah, I can see that. All right, I can do that. All right, the activation energy is low because the amount of energy it takes to get started is low. How can you do that with everything? One thing that I used to do, me and my mom, pre-pandemic, we would do spin together on Tuesday and Thursdays, and we did this for, oh my gosh, almost a decade. And in the beginning, because the time was so early, I was like, I don't know, Mama, if I can make this, but I was committed to doing it. And what I used to do is I used to go to sleep in my gym clothes. I would go to sleep in the clothes that I was going to wear to the gym, had my gym bag right by the foot of my bed. So as soon as my alarm went off, I would put on my socks and shoes, brush my teeth, wash my face, and out the door within 10 minutes. And I didn't have to think about it because I know that if the alarm would have went off, it was like, all right, what I'm going to wear, and I got to do all these things, I will be least likely to go to the gym. So think about it for you. What is the thing that you are jump starting, and how can you decrease the steps, make it easier for you to get started, because that's going to help you be consistent. Apryl.
Yeah. And the only thing that I have to add in this, in terms of, decreasing that energy that you need to take to actually do the thing, right? I laugh at this because every time I have to do a run, especially during the winter, which I have been doing, and it's like 15 degrees, 20 degrees, trying to decide, do I run inside or do I run outside? All of these decisions are making me postpone the time that I actually get to run. So it's like getting my clothes on and then working on something and just trying to like slowly motivate myself. Like those are little ways that you can decrease activation energy. But if you know that you're somebody that like needs even more accountability to actually go and do the thing, like sign up for classes where there's other people, or a session with a one-on-one trainer. You can have an accountability partner that can help get you out the door. Those types of things can help decrease that activation energy too, because you're actually getting stuff done in a way that is easier for you. And it's all about being easy, setting
Yep.
yourself up for success as easy as possible.
And that helps with consistency, because once you get the consistency and you start getting those reps in, then it becomes less about thinking, and you're just doing. So, yes, whatever it takes. And one thing about activation energy is that it works in reverse. So, on your way to better health, if there are things that you're trying to cut out, increase the activation energy. So, for example, for me, if you really knew me, you would know that I have a big sweet tooth, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's not just eating one Oreo. It's like I blink and I'm like, oh, what? I ate a whole sleeve. What? So what I do is I increase the activation energy and make it so it's like, I don't even want to think about that. So they're way high, which means I would have to get a chair, and then I would have to. So I don't even think about it. But if it's like as simple as walk into the kitchen, open the pantry, they're right there. Oh, that's just too easy. So again, it's great for things that you want to cut out by increasing it, and then if for the things you want to do more of, you decrease it. So that is that. Those are our 3 tips. I'm going to turn it over to Apryl to bring it home, because this is a quickie, not a longie.
And that's what she said. We are the Accountability Success Circle success team. We are here to help you have more fun and get shit done. Come check us out at www.theaccountability. Oh, it's not the accountabilitysuccesscircle.com. I got all excited there. And if you're just looking for an online community to help you with your goals and dreams, and to accomplish them in a fun but focused way, come check us out. So thanks for seeing us, and we will see you at the next quickie. Yay!
Bye, y'all.